Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for the fourth animated feature from Disney, Dumbo, which came out 80 years ago in 1941. The movie follows a baby elephant by the name of Jumbo Jr., or at least that's the name that his mother has given him. His mother is part of a group of circus elephants that travel across the entire country, making this the first Disney movie to be set in the United States. But when the other elephants find out that Jumbo Jr. has these ridiculously huge ears, they start making fun of him and give him the nickname Dumbo. And apparently it's such a nickname that it sticks and actually becomes his official name. So the movie is pretty much about Dumbo trying to break the curse of being a misfit, trying to be treated with a little more respect, and along the way he is accompanied by a tiny circus mouse named Timothy. Compared to the last three Disney movies that I talked about, I don't think I really have a whole lot to say about Dumbo because it's nothing really groundbreaking in my opinion. Snow White, Pinocchio, and Fantasia were all groundbreaking animated movies in their own right, whereas Dumbo is more the definition of a feature-length cartoon. I talked about in Fantasia how I didn't like the way Walt Disney categorized Snow White as a live-action cartoon, but this movie is kind of that. It's got some beautifully artistic scenes, don't get me wrong, but the bulk of this movie feels more like a feature-length Silly Symphonies cartoon that has a slightly bigger budget than the Silly Symphonies, but not quite as much as the three films that came before. And this has to do with the fact that Dumbo was made just to recoup the losses from Pinocchio and Fantasia. And this movie did end up making money, despite the fact that again, European and Asian markets were cut off from the US. And the best way I can describe Dumbo is that it's cute. It is just a flat-out adorable movie, and mainly because of the main character himself, Dumbo. While all the elephants in this movie, Timothy and the crows, are anthropomorphic and talk to each other and wear human clothes, Dumbo is more just like a real animal. He doesn't speak, and in a way you just feel a little more sympathy for him the way you would feel sympathy for any animal out there. You would have to have a heart of pure stone to look at any cute scene in this movie, especially with Dumbo, and just not feel anything towards it, because it really is adorable to watch. Just in the way it's adorable to watch a live-action baby elephant do his stuff. Unless it's the live-action Dumbo, which I did a review for and I didn't like it. Now, even though Dumbo is the main character and he gets a lot of really cute moments, my favorite character of the movie is actually Timothy the Mouse. For my own personal taste, I actually like Timothy more than I like Jiminy Cricket. And I think the main reason is because Timothy actually acts more like a friend to the main character. When Dumbo is just kicked to the ground and everyone's making fun of him, Timothy is the one that actually accepts Dumbo for who he is. Even though elephants are afraid of mice, Dumbo actually accepts Timothy, and he ends up being Dumbo's friend more than a parent, which is how Jiminy Cricket came across towards Pinocchio. But at the same time, Timothy also ends up becoming Dumbo's agent or manager when it comes to getting him all these gigs within the circus. But he never really does it for any selfish needs. He does it because he wants Dumbo to succeed. He is actually very caring of a friend to Dumbo, and I just love his personality. The way he talks, and he just stands up to everyone and creeps people out. He's great character. Now, even though I said that this movie looks more like a Silly Symphonies cartoon than the other Disney movies that came before it, or even the next one that would follow, there are some artistic moments throughout, and probably the most famous one is the pink elephant sequence, which is such a bizarre scene because it literally comes right after the most heartbreaking scene of the movie where Mrs. Jumbo and Dumbo meet again after she's been caged up. I'll talk about that a little later. But to go from a really sad scene to a scene that just makes you go, what in the hell am I watching, is such a weird turn of events. And the weird thing about Pink Elephant is that it goes on forever. It feels like it goes on for a long time. It gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and I love it. Like, it's just so bizarre. And when you think about it, it didn't need to be in the movie, or at least go on for as long as it did. But I'm happy it's there because it is definitely a trippy moment. And probably the biggest scene that you can look at in this movie and go, yeah, this is where a lot of the money went. Now, speaking of that heartbreaking scene, one of the best moments in the movie, outside the pink elephant sequence, is the song Baby Mine. When Dumbo's mother is locked up for being a mad elephant, as they say, Timothy decides to reunite the two of them. And then this song breaks out, and it really gets me every time. I have to try desperately to hold back tears. I try to go, nope, nope, no, I'm a man. I can hold it in. I'm not gonna cry at this scene. I'm not gonna cry, damn it, I'm crying. It's such a beautiful song, and for all the movie's cutesy moments, and for it being as lighthearted as it is, this song really gets to me. It really hits me right here, which I can't say the same for another song. And before I get to that other song, I need to address the elephant in the room. No, not that one, because I've been talking about that one throughout a majority of this review. No, I'm talking about the crows. Y'all knew this had to happen eventually. The crows, huh? Well, they are racist. They are racist caricatures. And it doesn't help that all of them are voiced by black actors, except for one. Now, all the other crows being voiced by black actors is not a problem. The problem is that the leader of the group, who in the notes when they were making the movie was named Jim, I'll let you fill in the blanks for that reference, is voiced by Cliff Edwards, who voiced Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio and is a white guy. So you have these characters acting like black stereotypes that really aren't acceptable today. And just to add insult to injury, you have the main leader played by a white guy, basically talking in black slang that was going around in the 1940s. And it's very uncomfortable to watch. But I will say this. First, in defense of the crows, and then two things that are a backhanded compliment. In defense of the crows, they are actually vital to the plot. They're the ones that actually help Dumbo take flight. And some people have said that because they're supposed to be black characters, they're seen as outcasts, and because Dumbo's an outcast, they actually take him in. Which I really don't buy, because they first start out making fun of Dumbo for being in a tree and landing into a puddle of water once he and Timothy fall out of the tree. So it's not until an inspirational speech by Timothy that the crows really start to accept Dumbo for who he is, because they sure take their time making fun of him. So I don't buy into that argument. The fact that they're making fun of Dumbo when they're first introduced, and the fact that they are playing black caricatures of the 1940s, really undercuts any positive message that the movie's trying to make. And now for the two in defense of the crows statements that I have, which are complete backhanded compliments. One, they are still not as racist as Sunflower, and two, the crows are actually not the most racist thing in this movie. Everyone talks about the crows for being racist, but for my own money, nothing in this movie can be as racist as the Song of the Roustabout sequence. After Casey Jr. climbs up the hill and arrives at the destination where they're going to set up the next circus, you have a bunch of faceless black men get out of the train, start working, and they sing this song, which the song is catchy in its own right if you don't focus on the lyrics, but if you do focus on the lyrics, then that's where all the problems come in. I'm not going to go over all the lyrics, and I'm not even going to sing them, but I just wanted to point out a few that I really think are worth mentioning. I have them written down in my notes here. We work all day, we work all night. We never learn to read or write. We're happy-hearted rustabouts. That's one section of the lyrics. When other folks have gone to bed, we slave away until we're almost dead. We're happy-hearted rustabouts. That's problematic, especially considering that the workers in this movie are a bunch of faceless black men. But nothing is as bad as this. Keep on working, stop that shirking, grab that rope, you hairy ape. I really don't think I need to go into any explanation out there. It's amazing that there are two songs in this movie that give me two completely opposite reactions. Baby Mine fills me with sadness, and I try desperately to hold tears back. Song of the Roustabouts makes me feel so uncomfortable, and every time I hear the song or even watch the movie, I'm like, God damn it. Like, why? Why this song? But to be honest, those are the only two things that I have in terms of criticisms. The only other criticism that I have is that by comparison of the first three movies, Dumbo doesn't really aim as high, but it's still very cute regardless. It's a very fun movie, it's adorable, the animation is nice, and sometimes it can be very artistic. And the worst things about the movie really are the racist moments with the crows and the Roustabouts song. But that's not going to prevent me from saying that this is a good movie, because it is. It's just not a great movie. Out of all the Disney movies within the golden age of Disney animation, Dumbo's probably the weakest of the bunch, but it's still really good regardless. And also, it's a miracle that this movie is just a little over an hour. It doesn't even hit an hour and 10 minutes. And the way it just flies by so quickly, something I have to admire. And even though I said there aren't any groundbreaking moments in this movie like there were in the first three, there are actually two people in this movie that made their Disney debut that would end up working in other animated movies in the future. The first person I should mention is Sterling Holloway, who voices the stork that delivers Dumbo, but he would later go on to voice the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. He would be the narrator for Disney's interpretation of Peter and the Wolf, and he was the original voice for Winnie the Pooh in the 70s. And the second person that's worth mentioning is Oliver Wallace, who did the score. He would later go on to do the score for many other Disney animated movies, including Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan. And if you listen to the score for this movie, there is a trumpet sound when Timothy builds up Dumbo after their first meeting that can be heard once again in Alice in Wonderland as the introduction to the Queen of Hearts. But we'll get to Alice in Wonderland within the next couple months. As for Dumbo, it's still a really good movie. It's very adorable, even though the racist stuff in here will make you cringe. It's still not a bad movie though, and it is just very cute. And there you go, that's my review for Dumbo. Now the cuteness train continues, because if you thought this movie was cute, just wait until we get to next week's movie, Bambi. So just make sure you strap yourselves in for more cuteness, because Bambi is pretty much cute overload compared to Dumbo. But now I want to know what you guys think about Dumbo. If you've seen it, what'd you think? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one. Hi everyone, I just wanted to say thank you all for watching my review of Dumbo. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share me with your friends. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check out my Twitch page and support me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a good day. Take care of yourselves.